What's up, guys and gals, and happy Thanksgiving to all Canadians, however you choose to celebrate it. We got a long weekend, and we got beer. We've got a turkey, and we've got beer. We've got football, and you guessed it, we got motherfucking beer. But what we're doing today is, it's your host with the most, Griever, as always, by the way, yada, yada, yada. Chapter 200 of Jujustu Kaisen chapter review. And let me tell you right now, is this chapter a milestone because we learned that Sukuna was the Fallen? Well, that was last chapter. Is this chapter a milestone because we saw Gojo Sensei in a repeat panel that was probably just grabbed and redone and not redrawn whatsoever, so Gege still doesn't have to draw Gojo? But no, that's still not the reason. Is it the way that somehow Yuji and Fushiguro can communicate with Fushiguro not understanding a single thing of his weird-ass sign language and yet completely get it for comedic effects alone, completely understand it regardless? Okay, maybe a little bit of that. But no. The reason this is a milestone chapter, is that it told me America is greedy. I mean, just... Let me soak that in for a minute. I'm just... Wow. Mind blown. I cannot fathom a world where the United States of America would willingly sacrifice thousands of people. I cannot fathom a world where America, the red, white, and blue itself, would go into another country and decide what to do. I just can't. It is the most milestone chapter. This is some 4D chess that Gege is playing. He's taking this in a direction that nobody saw coming. I mean, we saw it when Kenjaku went to the Chinese. No offense to any Chinamen here. But when he went to the Chinese government, it's like, oh yeah, they never liked the Japanese. Got it. Totally understand. I mean, he could have went anywhere. He could have even come up here to good old Canada. He could have went to Australia. He could have went to Britain. He could have went to Africa. He could have went to Brazil. He could have came up here to good old Canada, and I would have bought it. I would have said, yep, sounds like Canadians. Let's go murder a bunch of Japanese people for oil. Yep. But not good old 50 states America. Not all the, no. Are there even 50 states anymore? They keep changing that shit. They told me there were 50 back in the 90s, but Christ knows anymore. Some are territories, some don't count. Whatever. Anyway, point is, alright, I think my joke's done. No, the chapter was actually pretty good. The chapter was actually a lot of fun. It was a pretty good milestone. For a milestone chapter, once again, the idea of a milestone chapter, I already made that video before, and a lot of people get like super hyped. But outside of things like chapter 500 or chapter 1000 of a series, generally speaking, outside of chapter 100, 500, and 1000, and even 100 is not used that much, milestone is a mangaka decides. It is literally not... There's very little like stats or basis for this. It's just that we the community, and maybe it's only a Western thing, we get hyped. We think chapter 200, something big got to go down. Did something big go down? Yeah, a little bit. But was it Hakari dies, Sukuna's released, Gojo escapes the prison realm, Yuta versus Kenjaku? No, it's nothing on the level that people hype up a milestone chapter to be. And as I said, I've already made a video on that before. But this was a pretty good chapter. And it also confirms something that I was curious about last chapter, that when Yuji goes into the inner domain stuff, that's all actually happening in real time. We already confirmed a few chapters ago with the Maki thing, like I thought, that time works different in domain expansions, but in this in the inner domain inside, time is still passing because he was like, Yuji, you here with us? So when he was talking to Sukuna for those few minutes, it was noticed. So that was interesting. I was curious about that. And he chooses then, Yuji chooses to go to the couch and stuff, do this whole, I am the fallen, Sukuna is the fucking guy, that kind of stuff, right? He's like, yeah, Sukuna, like that kind of crap. So he was doing that, and actually his idea to say, like, I'm Sukuna, I like the fallen, I'm flying and now I'm falling. I did like that. That was quite a bit of fun, not gonna lie. That was quite a bit of fun. So yeah, and then we get the comedic moment where he figures it out, but then we go through the monologue, the inner monologue of both people. Sort of, we switch between Megumi and we switch between him and Yuji, sort of talking. And once again, this was something I complained about in early JJK. Transitions don't work so well. I had to sort of try to figure out when he stopped thinking and when Yuji started thinking, So I believe it was... I'm not actually still 100% sure. I really don't know. But I'm going to guess it was around the time that we saw the Sukuna flashback panel and stuff like that. So Yuji believes that now, at this point, he's going to take Sukuna's bluff. And he's like, half Sukuna disappears, Gojo Sensei comes back and stuff, cheap price to pay for me to die. If I have to die to sacrifice the stuff. So I was like, this is conviction of character. This is a good scene. And they're sort of having this mental talk without talking between each other. They're both sort of flipping back and forth because Fushigoro's like, no, I can't fucking... Shit, this really throws a wrench. Things were going too fucking good. And also brings up an idea, why have the other senseis not added the rules yet? There's certain rules that needed to be added. Why have they not been added yet? So that brings up an interesting idea. And I think I have a reason for that, but we'll get to that. They say it's cheap price to pay. Then we notice that the angel on the hand, of course, of Kurusu is noticing that a stupid amount, like it's going from 806, 807 people have just entered Tokyo Colony number 1. They've just entered, and it's like a stupid amount of people have started to enter. And that's where my theory comes in, that I'm assuming they haven't had the opportunity to sit on their laurels, like, Yuta and Hakari and people like that. They haven't had the opportunity to spend the points because all of a sudden they're being rushed by different governments of the world, who are trying to use them as fuel source and stuff. Because Kenjaku went in there, he went to clearly not just the Chinese and the Americans and stuff. He probably went to the French, and he probably went to anybody who would listen. And he said this is he went to like the Egypt, and he went to Greece, and he went probably everywhere, right? Because we're seeing multiple world leaders. Once again, not a great transition because this is what title boxes are used very well for. Because at multiple points, I didn't know what fucking country he was in. I thought the whole time he was talking to the Chinese government, and they just so happened to be very, I guess, diverse in their Council of China. The Chinese government is very diverse in their picking of the Council of the Chinese government, But I was just like, okay, what, like, so once again, without title cards, I don't know where these countries are from. I don't know, like, where the dude on the left is from and the dude on the right. Are they part of the same group? Are they not? Because we see him meet with people, not just singularly, but multiple people. Okay, here's my my secretary and the president. Here's the emperor and his 3 aides, and here's the bodyguard, and here's this. So as a result of that, I don't know what other countries he actually approached. So this is a bit of a problem. Once again, this is a problem I've had with Gege before. Transitions aren't clean all the time, and title boxes would do you a monumental favor. All we needed was a couple of... You didn't even need to make up names. You could have just said, head of Egypt, head of France, head of, Switzerland. You could have just done that. Just quick, title box. President of this country, dictator of that one, whatever you have, right? And go from there. Prime Minister of ABC, Prime Minister of Britain, whatever. And then I would have followed it a little better. Fact of the matter is, I like the idea that Kenjaku's coming here, spinning his own tale of woe and lies, that it's only the Japanese people and stuff. It might be the most concentrated there, but no, it's not. Jujutsu sorcerers aren't solely Japanese, and cursed energy isn't just in the Japanese Jujutsu sorcerers, blah, blah, blah. So he's really selling it on trying to get them all to invade at once to probably cause the chaos and keep the culling game going for a lot of reasons. Uses the glasses, like Maki's glasses sort of idea, to showcase everyone all the cursed spirits. Probably just Kenjaku releasing a few of the spirits he's got from Ghetto's ability, and then going from there and stuff. They assume, and what I like is one part of the chapter, halfway through the conversation, I think it's when they're talking to the president, it's like, is this a prank or some, artificial thing? Is this some VR technology? VR makes me dizzy as shit, man. Like, so doesn't buy it. He's like, oh my god, disgusting. Yeah, all right. So you have some fucking Disney glasses. Fantastic. Fuck off. I like that because in today's 2022, that would be very accurate, even though they said that this is February of 2018. I also read a few people talking that I think when they showcase, after they take him and they believe him and stuff, they show using Mechamaru's ability, which I don't understand this. How did Mechamaru, there's footage from a sorcerer that controls puppet with the puppet manipulation technique. How did Mechamaru happen to catch all these moments? Gojo's eyes, Nanami's thing, Todo's, and Sukuna's release? Because, first off, didn't some of these things happen? Like, people were bringing up, well, wait a minute now. How did that work? Even if he stole the technique, how would that work? And they can't record curses. They can record the abilities because of Mechamaru. Mechamaru's dead now. Wasn't Mechamaru dead before this? And even if that was the case, but before some of these incidents that they're showing, like previous panels from previous chapters, even if that's the case, didn't Sukuna not get released in front of Mechamaru, number 1, and number 2? Even if not, didn't that happen before February of 2018? So maybe they screw up the dates. I don't know. Someone with more time, someone more like the teching of JJK can tell me. I'm just bringing it up because I saw people thinking about it. And talking about it and stuff, so maybe some dates are wrong. I don't know. It's a manipulation tactic. It doesn't really matter what they showed them. There was enough footage there to say, look at all the bullshit that Jujustu sorcerers can do and stuff. And it's just like, well, here's the thing. Cursed energy is an energy source. And it's like, so this is our new oil. This is our nuclear power. This is our deterrent. This is we don't need to go into the Middle East anymore. We need to go to the East, but we need to go farther than the Middle East. We need to go, farther than we went in Korea. We need to go back to Japan. We need to go to Japan, and we need to, already claiming that it's the cleanest energy source. The cleanest energy source. Isn't that an ironic term, though? The cleanest energy source. Meanwhile, it's clean if you want to get your hands stained with so much blood it'll never wash off. You know what I mean? Like, environmentally, it is, but on a moral compass way, it's the dirtiest power source of all time. This is some Matrix level. The human body gives off more voltage than the average battery. Blah 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 blah. And the machines use us for a fuel source. And blah 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 blah. It's that Morpheus talk in the first Matrix, like literally. And these guys are talking about it like it's no fucking big deal. They're talking about it. They don't even know how to harness it yet. But the dude who's never heard of cursed energy in his life is like, oh, magic, cool. I'm sure we can make that work like oil. He just automatically assumes that shit, we can figure out how to make that work like oil. 100%. We can run our cars off that shit. I'm sure we can do it. Like, has no doubt in his mind. No theories. One random Japanese dude walks up to him in a Buddhist monk robe and says, look what I can do. I got Magic the Gathering for real. Brought Yu-Gi-Oh monsters to life. Perfect. We can replace fossil fuels. I don't know how the fuck he got from A to B. I understand the greed of the American people to harness this power. I understand completely that the American government would take every measure possible, but the fact that they trust him, the American president is actually not the idiot here. It's this energy fucking dickwad. Because they're making jokes about it. He's like, that was like watching a movie. Too bad it wasn't IMAX. Even after seeing the VR, what is this? VR glasses? Next. Oh, see all these crazy battles? Yeah, that looks like the latest Marvel movie. Next. Not buying this shit for a moment and not taking this dude seriously, which is actually the greatest thing that could happen right now. Seriously. Because it is really happening, but we don't want the world powers to... For once in a manga, we would like the world powers to not take this guy seriously, because if they do, we got a crisis on our hands. If they ignore it and go, yeah, whatever, like every single time, they tell tell your parents, and the parents don't believe them, and then the Power Rangers have to save the day and stuff like that. No, for once, tell them and make sure they don't believe it. For the love of God, do what every parent and world leader and every principal did in every fucking manga ever, and not believe the kids when they tell you something. Every Goosebumps and every fucking movie ever, don't believe the fucking kids. But this time, of course, no question in their mind, gonna believe it, and automatically assumes that Gojo can do, like it's just like, they're believing this guy out of nowhere, and then just says, so you're saying that we should kidnap Japanese civilians to use as experiments using the authority of the U.S. president. And I'm just like, so first off, that goes against 100 United Nations laws. That goes against so many fucking laws. They set this shit up, because of, a certain thing that happened between 1939 and 1945. Anyways, but there are laws both in country and international law that prohibit exactly what they're saying that they should be doing. But I just don't get, that's the end of the chapter. But could someone explain to me how and why they would believe, the energy guy just is a moron to me, because, first off, there's no proof, and nothing that he showed him, anything that's happened in Jujutsu Kaisen, has proven to me that they can harness that shit to run cars and, power up my lights. There's no proof of that whatsoever, that they could easily harness that to stop using fossil fuels. He's just making a wild conjecture and assumption, and just yeah, absolutely, let's go kidnap another country's fucking people and murder them and experiment on them in the most inhumane way, based on what one asshole from Japan with a scar across his forehead just is telling us. Yep. No other questions, no other research needed, not a second opinion. Fuck second opinions. I understand we're trying to move the plot forward, but seriously, this makes absolutely no fucking sense. It really doesn't. I don't mind it. I don't care. I'm just being I guess a bit of a nitpicker, but I don't really think it's nitpicking. It makes zero sense. The leaps in logic that are happening right now are really, really not there for me. So, but that's just me. That's the review. What did you guys think? I appropriately named direct negotiations because I think we need to negotiate this chapter a little bit. We need to negotiate. Clearly some countries have gotten themselves involved, but do you guys agree with me that from that standpoint, why the fuck would the American president or these people even meet with Kenjaku in the first place? And number two, why anything they have showed him, why would they even believe it? Even if they believe it, why would they listen to him? Why would they not double check this out? Why wouldn't they do ABC? There must be a number of other things they would want to do before just, gonna trust this guy I never met. Let's go to World War III. Let's do the most inhumane shit we can possibly do. Since Vietnam in America's case, or Iraq or anything like that. Let's go start another one. Why not? Are they just waiting for an opportunity? Are they just waiting for some random schmuck to come off the street and say, hey, you know what you should do? We should go steal all of Canada's polar bears. Fucking great idea. You know what? Polar bears. We can use polar bears to fuel our cars. Let's do it. Polar bears. Polar bear blood fuels cars. Let's go. Let's do it. One random schmuck off the street came in here. One Canadian came into my office and he said, polar bears. Polar bears are your answer? Fucking took him at his word. We're going to Canada. We got to take all the polar bears. That is legitimately what they just did. So I'm just a little, okay. I think we could have made that work a little better. Maybe threaten the president. If you don't do this, the cursed spirit's going to take over. Did I miss that part where he's like, if you don't use them as your next oil crisis problem, if you don't use them as an energy source, they are going to come and kill you. I missed that part of the chapter, I guess. Maybe it was implied? I don't know. But anyways, what did you guys think? Interesting milestone chapter 200. That's it from me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good weekend if you're Canadian. And keep Americans off our polar bears, clearly. clearly do that. But yeah, so we'll see you guys back here next time. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, drink responsibly. Yeah. Almost forgot that one. Drink responsibly. See you next time.